What's going on, guys? This is Alex with Metastophicles Gaming, bringing you another 3 of these awesome Wilds of Eldraine collector booster packs. I've enjoyed these thus far. Very cool set. Definitely some awesome looking art in this. Definitely some cool reprints in that enchantment slot that they have. Definitely hoping to pull a confetti foil at some point, just because I think it'll look cool. I haven't seen one yet. I think they always look better in person than they do in pictures. So I don't even care what it is. I just want to see the foiling on it so that I can see how cool it looks. Definitely wouldn't complain about getting any of those cool reprints that they have in here. Doubling Season, Parallel Lives. We did get a Ristic Study, which was really cool to see. A Beseech the Mirror, I think, is one of them. That would be a good card to get. Not a reprint, but in the new set. There's some other good ones as well. I think I mentioned before the white version of the Craterhoof Behemoth is one that I'm definitely looking forward to for a deck. So with that being said, let's go ahead and see what we can pull out of these packs and get into today's pack opening. Okay, pack number 1 here. These pull tabs don't really do a whole lot. Okay, and let's see, put that aside. We start off with a Questing Druid, which is going to be a human druid, a 1/1 for 2 mana. Whenever you cast a spell that's white, black, blue, or red, put a +1/+1 counter on Questing Druid, and you can send it on an adventure for 2, 1 and a red. Exile the top 2 cards of your library until your next end step. You may play those cards, so pretty cool. We get a Dawn of Hope. Whenever you gain life, you may pay 2. If you do, draw a card, and you can tap 4 to create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. We get another non-foil Questing Druid in that showcase. Liberated Livestock, which is a cat, bird, ox. A 4/6 for 6 mana. When it dies, create a 1/1 white cat creature token with lifelink, a 1/1 white bird creature token with flying, and a 2/4 white ox creature token. For each of those tokens, you may put an aura card from your hand and or graveyard onto the battlefield attached to it. So that's an interesting card for aura decks because, well, you can get them back for, I mean, it's 6 mana, but you get plenty of bodies and plenty of value from that 6 mana. So I do think that's playable. Maybe in a slower, not CEDH, but I think it might see some play. We do see Devouring Sugar Maw, which is basically a fruit cake with gummy worm tentacles, it looks like. Pretty cool. Let me make sure you can actually see that because it's not focused. So it is a 4 mana for a 6/6 with Menace, Trample, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice an artifact, enchantment, or token. If you don't, tap Devouring Sugar Maw. You can send it on an adventure for 2 to create a 1/1 human creature token and a food token. So it gives you some sacrificing fuel. We get a Dragon Mantle and a Vampiric Rites. And we get a Foil Mountain for the land for the pack. We move on to the Cheeky House Mouse. 2/1 little mouse. So he is he has an adventure on him, so he costs 1, and his adventure also costs 1. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn, and it can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater this turn. Tanglespan Lookout, Spell Scorn Coven, Witch's Mark, a Wicked Visitor, Sleight of Hand, and a Scream Puff. There is some scary food in this set for sure. Let's move on to pack number 2. I have to say, if a Scream Puff or a Devouring Sugar Maw was ever in front of me, I would be terrified. We do get a Yenna. So So I'll start off this pack with a Yenna Red Tooth Regent. She is a 4/4 for 4 mana, Elf Noble. Tap to tap her, choose target enchantment you control that doesn't have the same name as another permanent you control. Create a token that's a copy of it except it isn't legendary. If the token is an aura, untap Yenna, Red Tooth Regent, and scry 2. Activate only as a sorcery. Another very good card for aura decks. We get an Unnatural Growth, which is, again, one of those reprints. A very good card. At the beginning of each combat, you double the power and toughness of each creature you control until the end of turn, which is super cool to see. I'm definitely happy with pulling that because it's another one of those cards that I can use in plenty of decks that I have or am building. We get a Restless Cottage, which is the Golgari dual land from this set, and that's in a really cool borderless art there. So that one comes in the battlefield tapped, taps for black or a green, and you can tap 2 and a black and a green, and it becomes a 4/4 black and green horror creature token until end of turn. Creature. I keep saying token for these, but it's not a token. The land becomes a creature. And whenever it attacks, create a food token and exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. So that one actually seems pretty decent. Being able to create the food token, which is for Golgari, is a great thing to be able to sacrifice. Sounds actually really good. Definitely think that will get some use. Blightwing Bandit. So 4 mana for a 2/2 flying death touch. Whenever you cast your first spell during each opponent's turn, look at the top card of that player's library, then exile it face down. And you may play that card for as long as it remains exiled, and mana of any type can be spent to cast it. That seems very good for something along the lines of like a Set and Triplets deck. Just even more control for a very hated commander that I love. We get a Rotisserie Elemental, cooking up some bird. So that's a pretty cool looking card there. 1/1 Elemental with Menace. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, put a skewer counter on Rotisserie Elemental. And then you may sacrifice it. If you do, exile the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of skewer counters on Rotisserie Elemental, and you may play those cards this turn. So interesting card there. We get an Impact Tremors. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, Impact Tremors deals 1 damage to each opponent. Very useful card. Like to see that reprinted. Garruk's Uprising, another very useful card that I love to see reprinted here. Just because you can never have enough of them for every green deck. We get a Sir Armont the Redeemer, who is a 4/4 Human Knight. Cool to see that. Sugar Rush, Hopeless Nightmare, Titanic Growth, and Cooped Up. So overall, very cool pack there. Definitely like to see a few of those. The Garruk's Uprising and the Impact Tremors are definitely cool to see. Like to see it. Let's move on to pack number 3. Let's see what else we can get from these. Sometimes these are just very difficult to open. It might be very crinkly because I'm opening them like right in front of the microphone. All right, so start off this pack with an Extraordinary Journey, which is X, X, and blue. When it enters the battlefield, exile up to X target creatures. For each of those cards, its owner may play it for as long as it remains exiled. Whenever 1 or more non-token creatures enter the battlefield, if 1 or more of them entered from exile or was cast from exile, you may draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn.
You did it, Goku!
We get a Defense of the Heart, which is, again, one of those really cool reprints. And this is even cooler because it's that anime art that they're doing. I think this is the first one we've pulled with the anime art, and I'm actually pumped about it because I think these look super cool. So Defense of the Heart is a enchantment for 4 mana. At the beginning of your upkeep, if an opponent controls 3 or more creatures, sacrifice Defense of the Heart. Search your library for up to 2 creature cards, put those cards onto the battlefield, then shuffle. So it is definitely a great card to see. Great card to have. Excited to have pulled that in that art specifically. Definitely exciting. So we do get a Bramble Familiar, which is a cute little elemental raccoon. He is a 2/2 mana dork for 2 mana, and you can tap 2 and tap it to discard a card and return it to its owner's hand. You can send him on a quest, a fetch quest, for 7 mana, which is mill 7 cards, then put a creature, enchantment, or land card from among the milled cards onto the battlefield. So that's actually pretty interesting, and I like that card. We do get another Rotisserie Elemental. Italian's Messenger, 1/3 Fairy Noble, flying whenever you attack with 1 or more fairies. Draw a card, and then discard a card. When you discard a card this way, put a +1/+1 counter on target fairy you control. So pretty cool. We get a Knightly Valor, which is one of those enchantments. 5 mana for a aura enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. An enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has vigilance. Grasp of Fate, in that cool, I like that art. It looks really cool. And that is a good card for kind of exiling, especially for commander. Get rid of one of each of your opponent's permanents. I think it is non-land permanent, right? Yep, target non-land permanent. So definitely a good one. We get an Archive Dragon, which is a 4/6 for 6, flying, ward 2, and when it enters the battlefield, you scry 2. Cursed Courtier, so lifelink 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, create a cursed roll token and attached to it. Enchanted creature is a 1/1, so right in the name, he's cursed, so he basically is weakened right when you cast him, but you can get a 3/3 out of it if you can get rid of that cursed roll. Definitely some cool cards in this. Again, those enchantments that they have are just really cool looking. I like to see all of those, even if they're not, sought after cards. I think they all look really cool. And getting Defense of the Heart in that cool art is definitely a plus. Garrick's Uprising, Impact Tremors, definitely some cool cards. Unnatural Growth is a really good one. I'm very pleased with these packs so far. Let me know what you think about them in the comments down below. Do you think that the reprints are the highlight of this set? Or do you really just like the set itself? There's some really good cards in this set overall. I would love to see more of it. So definitely going to open more packs as we go along because this set is just very fun. Let me know what you guys think, and if you enjoyed the video, subscribe, thumbs up, and we will see you next time.